And hello, everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon to everyone tuning in for Game 2 here of a doubleheader on this Saturday afternoon between the Brevard College Tornadoes and the Maryville College Scots. Just a little bit earlier, Brevard dropping Game 1 against the Scots by a score of 5-1. Game was 1-1 headed into the ninth, and the Tornadoes of the rough ninth inning dropping the contest. It was the first conference contest of the season for the Tornadoes, so they start 0-1 in conference play, looking to even things out here at 1-1 against the Scots. Brevard with the loss falls to 11-7. Maryville, same amount of wins, but a different record, 11-4 for them after the victory. For the Tornadoes on the mound, it'll be Nathan Sanders, arguably the best pitcher on the staff for the Tornadoes, 2-0 with a 2.81 ERA and 20 strikeouts. For Maryville, it'll be Chris Arbuthnot, 2-1, a 3.27 ERA, and 11 strikeouts on the year for him. And here's how they line up for Maryville. Leading off, number 1, Gabe Lopez. Number 22, Nelson Smith. Number 28, Christian Carlton. In the cleanup spot, number 24, Zach Graham. Number 35, Casey Ross. Number 25, Peyton Milam. Number 32, Jimmy Meredith. Number 26, Zach Fritz. And rounding things out, number 6, Max Bowers, the center fielder. For the Tornadoes, number 4, Zach Allison. Number 6, Blake Burchett. Number 2, Jason Jucker. In the cleanup spot, number 15, Logan Clark, followed by freshman phenom, number 19, Frankie Vasquez. Number 26, Cale Ayler, the first baseman. Number 12, Peter Fumero, who did not play in Game 1, will be the designated hitter in this one. Number 11, Christian Ezel. And in the 9 spot, number 9, Jack Atkinson. And now we are just about ready to go. Number 1, Gabe Lopez stepping into the box for the Scots. And Sanders comes set. Here comes the windup, and the first pitch of Game 2 of the doubleheader is a strike on the outside corner to Lopez. Good start to the afternoon for Sanders. Here's the pitch. Strike 2 on the outside part again from Sanders. Sanders, the 0-2, just a bit outside. Ball 1, Sanders still in control. Sanders delivers the 1-2, and that'll be high, count even at 2 apiece. Sanders winds up the 2-2 pitch here in the dirt, and Lopez has rallied back from an 0-2 count to a full count. Sanders, payoff pitch to Lopez here in the dirt, ball 4. So he goes from an 0-2 count to a leadoff walk. Not ideal for Nathan Sanders, and Lopez is aboard of the walk. Nelson Smith coming up now, the left fielder for the Scots. And the pitch outside, a 5th consecutive ball for Sanders. The 1-0. Strike, throw back down to first is not there. Lopez is safe. Ezel throwing behind the runner there, checking on him. And the count's even 1-1 to Smith. Sanders, the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Smith 0 for 3 in game 1. As Nathan Sanders comes set at the belt, and the pitch just outside for ball 2. Count even once more here. Sanders fires, and ball 3. Another full count coming for Sanders, trying once again to not lose a batter. Sanders will step off as Smith steps out of the box, rubbing something in his eye, and now appears to be good to go. Lopez still lurking on first. Ayler holding him close. Getting his lead. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there's out number 1 and strikeout number 1 for Nathan Sanders here on Nelson Smith. And it'll bring up Christian Carlton, the first baseman for the Scots. Carlton 1 for 4 with an RBI in game 1 just a little while ago. Throw back to first. Sanders not able to get him. Lopez sliding back in safely. Pitch swung on late and missed. Throw down to second, and he is safe. Lopez gets in there with a stolen base. Really late swing and miss there by Carlton. And now with 1 out, a man in scoring position for the Scots. It's Lopez. Pitch by Sanders. Swung on, line drive, caught! Burchett. Nice jumping play by Blake Burchett. And that is going to be out number 2. Lopez will hold tight at second. And it'll bring up Zach Graham. Graham, the DH. In the cleanup hole. Nice play there by Blake Burchett to make the jumping grab. Pitch by Sanders is ball 1 to Graham. Sanders and Ezel, the battery from left to right of the infield. Vasquez, Jucker, Burchett, and Ayler. And then Clark, Atkinson, and Allison, the outfielders from left to right. That's how they line up. And here comes Sanders with the 1-0 offering, and it's in there for strike 1. Here's the pitch. Ball 2. Something with Ezel here. Not sure what he needs, but time called as he's, for the second time in this doubleheader, Brevard Tornado will need a new glove. Hazel will get just that. Gets the new mitt and now plops down behind the plate with the count standing at 2-1 to Graham. Pitch by Sanders. Fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. Sanders, a sub-3 ERA on the campaign. In fact, the only Tornado pitcher that has appeared with a sub-3. And the 2-2 pitch here. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Sanders. And at the end of the top half of the first, Maryville not able to get onto the board, and we'll have the Brevard bats coming up. Zach Allison, Blake Burchett, and Jason Jucker to start us off in the home half of the first. Nados and Scots, game 2. We'll be right back. Zach Allison coming up to the plate to start the home half of inning number 1. Facing Chris Arbuthnot, 2-1 of the 3.27 ERA, 11 strikeouts on the campaign so far for him, and Allison steps in and takes ball 1. The 1-0, low and out for ball 2. And there's strike 1. Two-one pitch, Arbuthnot whacked up the middle for a base hit. Leadoff man is on for the Nados. Allison with a base hit there. And this will bring up Blake Burchett, second baseman for the Tornadoes. Burchett stepping in now with Allison on first. And that one fouled down the right side and over the Maryville dugout for strike 1. Jason Jucker on deck. Burchett in an early 0-1 hole. And that one's going to get by, and Allison is going to get to second base on the throwaway there. So a runner in scoring position with no outs for Burchett. And Jason Jucker on deck. So 0-1 to Burchett, the number 2 hitter, and the second baseman was Zach Allison standing on second base. Here's the pitch. It will be a ball. Even count at 1 apiece now. Here's the pitch. Ball 2. Hitters count for Burchett. Arbuthnot comes set, looks back at Allison, now fires to the plate, and the outside pitch called a strike. Was in the other batter's box, and a strike is called. Burchett in disbelief there, and it's a 2-2 count. Even count, 2 apiece here for Burchett. And the pitch is in the dirt. It'll be a full count. Allison not going anywhere. That one stopped by Milam. And a full count here for Burchett. And time called by the home plate umpire. And the payoff pitch is high and tight. Allison's going to go down to third without a throw. Heads up play. And Burchett is going to get to first. And runners are on the corners now for Jason Jucker, who, by the way, earlier this week set the D3 era career hits record with career hit number 111 for himself. So Jucker, a great accomplishment for number 2, NATO shortstop. And now Arbuthnot conferring with his catcher and the shortstop Lopez after giving up the base hit, throwing the ball away, and then walking Burchett. Allison with some heads-up base running, and now NATOs have runners on the corners with nobody out for Jucker. And this one launched foul down the left side. Oh, and 1 to Jucker. Burchett on first. See if he tries to go and get 2 men in scoring position here. Arbuthnot steps off, and time is called either way by the home plate umpire. Burchett will get his lead once more. And he will take off, and that one is up the middle. Snag, nice play by the shortstop. Throw on to first. Jucker will not beat it out. A nice double play there. Meredith and Lopez there. Meredith with a great play. The snag and the flip on to second, but Zach Allison will score. And it's a 1-0 lead for the NATOs. Base is empty now. Logan Clark stepping up. Maryville will trade 2 for 1, especially to get the starting pitcher's confidence going here. As Clark steps in, and the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Pitch is tipped off straight back by Clark. And the 1-1 here. Ball 2. Count in favor of Clark here. 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs and nobody on. NATO's leading at 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. After Allison was driven in on the double play. That one swung on and missed. And Arbuthnot with a 2-2 count. Going to try and get out of the frame here with limited damage. Here's the pitch. It is fouled straight back by Clark. He'll stay alive and see another. That pitch is popped up right side. Carlton under it. He makes the grab, and that'll end the first inning. NATO's get a run on the board, and as we head to the top of the second, Nathan Sanders will try to continue his good work from the first inning with the NATO's leading it 1-0 here. Back here at Gilcone Field, top of the second inning, and Maryville stepping up to the plate for their second try at it on Sanders. Sanders notching 2 strikeouts in the first frame. It'll be Casey Ross, the 5-hole hitter, to start things off here. Sanders fires, swing and a miss. And the pitch by Sanders in the dirt, ball 1. One is in the dirt, ball 2. Sanders delivers. That one popped up foul. And it's 2-2. Here's the pitch. It'll be out of the zone and a full count coming here for Sanders. Third full count induced already by the Maryville hitters. Sanders delivers. Strike three, rings him up looking, and the third K already for Nathan Sanders as Ross goes down looking. And now it'll be the catcher, number 25, Peyton Milam, with his first crack at it. Didn't play in the first game. We'll see what he's got here against Sanders. First pitch, strike one on the outside corner. Home plate umpire for both sides today is called a very generous outside part of the plate. Sanders with the 0-1. Comes set, fires, and that's in the dirt. 4-1. Sanders, 1-1 here. Chopped, straight back foul on the ground, and it's 1-2. Sanders going to try and get his fourth strikeout here. One and two here. And the pitch by Sanders is hit foul, laying out of play on the left side. The 1-2 offering from Sanders is fouled straight back. We'll have another one. One-two coming here once again from Sanders. This one swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Nathan. And a chance to strike out the side here if he can get Meredith. Jimmy Meredith now up. Meredith 2 for 4. Had an RBI double at the end of game 1, which provided a huge boost for Maryville, helped them with their 5-1 victory. Helped knock across the 2 go-ahead runs in a 4-run ninth for the Scots. And Meredith takes ball 1. Sanders fires, swing and a miss. Count even at 1 now. One ball, 1 strike. Sanders fires, and that one is hit foul. 2 strikes and a chance to strike out the side here for Nathan Sanders. 1-2 count. Sanders comes to the top of the hill. Shakes off Ezel. Now he's ready. The pitch in the dirt, ball 2. Meredith with an even count at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of inning number 2. And the pitch from Sanders is chopped right back to Sanders. He'll go to Ayler, and that'll be out number 3, and will send us to the bottom of the second. NATO's leading it 1-0. Maryville once again failing to play any runs. And it will be Vasquez, Ayler, and Fumero when we get back from Gilcone Field here. Game 2 between the Scots and the NATOs. Back here for the home half of the second, and Frankie Vasquez will lead things off. The freshman had 2 doubles in game 1. And Vasquez chops this one to third. Throw on to first. Vasquez won't beat it out. That'll be out number 1. Nice play by Ross there. This will be Ayler coming up for his first crack at it in game 2 here. First pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Oh, one pitch lifted in the air to center. Retreating and getting under it is Bowers. He'll make the grab for out number 2. So a quick second inning so far for Arbuthnot. And Peter Fumero, who didn't play in game 1, will step up to the dish as the designated hitter. Here's the pitch. Fumero chops this one foul to the right side. Oh, one pitch to Fumero. Swung on and hit to the left side. Bowers under it, and he will make the grab for out number 3. So a quick second inning of work for Arbuthnot will send the NATOs down quietly in order. And we will head to the top of the third. It'll be Fritz Bowers, and then it'll flip back over to Lopez. NATO's leading at 1-0 through 2. Back here for third inning action at Gilcone Field. NATO's leading at 1-0 here as Zach Fritz will head to the dish. Sanders, 4 strikeouts already in the first 2 frames, and here's the first pitch of the third. It is swung and lifted foul down the left side. Sanders fires the 0-1, and it's taken for strike 2. Quickly, Fritz in an 0-2 hole here. Fritz was 0 for 4 in game 1. And here comes the 0-2. Outside for ball 1. One-two offering here from Sanders. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Sanders. That's number 5. And it'll bring up Max Bowers. Bowers, the center fielder. So Sanders has struck out 5 of the first 8 batters that he's faced. Still is not allowed a hit. Pitch to Bowers, strike 1. Sanders starting to get into the groove, it seems. After a couple wild at-bats to start off the ball game, starting to fill it out a little bit more, it seems, for number 13. 0-1 to Bowers here. Swung on and missed, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Max Bowers, the center fielder for the Scots. Sanders trying to finish him off right here. The pitch is lifted into center field, and there's the first base hit right there for the Scots. Classic announcers jinx, and Maryville's got their first hit of the ball game. With an 0-2 count, Bowers smacks this one into center field, and he's standing on first now. And that'll bring back up Gabe Lopez, who walked in his first at-bat. Sanders the pitch, outside for ball 1. One-0 pitch. Outside ball 2. Throwback down to first. And he is out. Ezel throwing behind the runner and gets Bowers out at first. What a play by Christian Ezel. Maryville in protest of the call. Bowers hasn't left first yet. He was clearly called out. And the umpire having some sort of discourse. And Bowers still standing on first. And he'll finally head back to the dugout. Maybe Bowers thought if he stood there long enough, the umpire would forget the call. Nonetheless, that is out number 2, and the bases are now empty with Sanders working to the 2-0 count to Lopez. Nice play by Christian Ezel, throwing behind the runner at first and getting him. Here's the pitch, 2-0. Breaking ball drops in nicely for a strike. Two-one count now in favor of Lopez. 2-1 count here. Sanders looks on. Ezel in a split behind the dish. And the pitch is ball 3. 3-1 count, favorable for number 1, Gabe Lopez. The Maryville shortstop had a good game in game 1, going 2 for 4. Sanders trying to avoid a second walk to Lopez, and that one's popped in the air. Ayler retreating, heading towards the bullpen. He will run out of room climbing up the fence. And we'll have a full count once again to Lopez for the second time. Full count to Lopez here. Walked his first time around. Nelson Smith on deck if Lopez does reach. Sanders trying to prevent that. Here's the pitch, and he will reach on a second walk. So it will bring up Smith. And Sanders running into a little bit of trouble here the last couple batters, but was able to erase Bowers after his single with a nice pickoff play by Ezel. And here comes Smith, who struck out his first time around, and one of the 5 strikeout victims of Sanders so far. Lopez getting his lead at first. And the pitch by Sanders swung on and waved at for strike 1. (0-1) pitch in there for strike 2, and Smith in a 2-strike hole immediately. The wind starting to kick up here at Gilcone Field as the dirt starts to fly up at the plate. And now at the mound. Feeling it up here in the booth too. 0-2 count. Sanders looks, fires, delivers. It's outside. Throw down to second. And Lopez is out. Ezel with 2 great throws. And the NATOs through 3 have held Maryville scoreless. As we head to the bottom half of the third, it'll be Ezel, Atkinson, and Allison. Christian Ezel with 2 great plays behind the dish. And Maryville still scoreless. We'll be right back. Here at Gilcone Field for the bottom half of the third. Game 2 between Maryville and Brevard. NATO's leading 1-0 early on here. Held a 1-0 lead for a majority, or at least part of game 1. Maryville eventually tied that up at 1-1 and then had a 4-run ninth to take away the 5-1 victory. Arbuthnot not back for his third inning of work, and this one's lifted in the air to right by Ezel, short right field, and under it is Meredith. He'll make the grab for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ezel retired there after making 2 great plays behind the dish in the top half of the third. And here's Atkinson. Atkinson 0 for 2 in game one. Drew a walk, and he'll take ball one there. Pitch by Arbuthnot is bunted down the first base line. It'll go foul. Strike one for Atkinson. And it'll be 1-1. One ball, one strike, one out here in the bottom of the third. NATO's leading it 1-0. The pitch by Arbuthnot is taken for strike two. Looked like Milam might have thought it was strike three. Looked ready to throw down to third. But it's only number two for Mr. Atkinson. And here comes the 1-2 here. It is swung on and fouled right towards Allison in the on-deck circle. And we'll do it all over again. 1-2 here. Arbuthnot comes set, fires to the plate, and almost takes Atkinson's head off. Atkinson able to duck down under that one, and it's even counted 2 apiece now. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. And the pitch taken for ball 3. Count full now. And here comes the pitch by Arbuthnot. Swung on and missed. Atkinson set down on strikes. And it'll bring up Zach Allison, who had a single his first time up and scored the only NATO run, the only run of the game to this point. Allison 1 for 5 in game one, 1 for 1 here. Here's the pitch, taken for strike one. First strikeout there for Arbuthnot a second ago. And the pitch, ball 1. Pitch by Arbuthnot, taken for strike 2 by Allison. He's in a 1-2 hole with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Arbuthnot trying to get strikeout number 2 and get through his third inning of work. Here's the pitch. It'll bounce in the dirt all the way back to the backstop high. And it's an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the third here. Each team with only 1 hit. NATO's with a run across, though. Maryville does not have the same thing going for them. Here's the pitch by Arbuthnot. It is taken for ball 3, and the count is full once more. Payoff pitch here to Allison is going to hit him. He'll take his base, and really not sure. There's a lot of outrage coming from some Maryville fans, really unjustified. I don't know, pretty obviously that even if it didn't hit him, it was a ball, but nothing new. The complaints coming from the stands at the moment. As Blake Burchett steps up to the dish. Burchett walked his first time up. Brevard baseball trying to continue the trend of Brevard dominance over Maryville. Of course, the women's basketball team getting their first postseason win in NCAA era history over Maryville, and of course the football team, the past 3 matchups against Maryville has gotten the victory, including a 31-0 shutout win over Maryville this past fall. Baseball trying to keep the trend going, trying to split the doubleheader here, as the umpire now having some sort of discussion with head coach Mike Victory. Not sure. Allison's grabbed a bat again. I'm really not sure. They're going to say the hit by pitch was a foul ball, maybe. Did not hear the sound of the bat touching the ball. And it looked pretty apparent that it had hit him. And all of a sudden, the two umpires discussing it. Really not sure how you can reverse that. The umpire's right in front of the mound. Arbuthnot looking on at them, trying to see what the decision is made here. Coach Victory standing right on the foul side of the third base line. Looking, waiting to hear the decision as well. It looks like they're going to send Allison back to the plate at the moment. Who starts engaging in some discussion with Milam. Probably saying, did it hit me or did it hit the bat? Umpire is still discussing this here. And still no conclusion reached. Both umpires now have walked over to head coach Mike Victory on the third base side and are talking things over. And Victory pleading his case as Burchett looks on. Burchett already had his walk-up music played. It's only right that they keep Allison at first and let him hit. If for no other reason than that. Jason Jucker is out now too, looking on, trying to figure out if he'll be in the on-deck circle or back in the hole in the dugout. Things still being discussed here. Large delay here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. And Victory still starting to get a little bit animated with the Blues here. Not seeing eye to eye on whether the ball hit Allison or his bat. And for Coach Victory, you got to wonder, or a lot of that frustration, I'm sure, stems from the fact that they were ready to go, ready to let Burchett hit, and then all of a sudden, a lot of complaints from the Maryville coaching staff and fans alike seem to have maybe tilted the decision the other way, which obviously is not a part of the rule book. Contrary to popular belief, there is no rule that states that the fans can help reverse a call. But it seems like that may be what happens here. Allison's still watching. Coach Victory still getting animated. Doesn't seem to have been issued a warning yet, but still trying to bargain with the umpires here as Maryville just kind of waits. Lopez looks over with his hand on his hip saying he's ready to go. Whatever we're going to do, we might as well do it here soon. As Allison steps away now, takes a couple practice hacks in case he does have to step back in. And we'll see what they say. They will call Allison out on interference. Absolutely unbelievable call to end the third. And wow. Not much to say other than wow. Interference called on Zach Allison. He'll be ruled out, and we will head to the top of the fourth. Absolutely crazy ruling there. Not something I can say I've ever really seen happen in one of these games. But regardless, we'll head to the top of the fourth with the NATOs still with the lead. They can't take that run away. 1-0 NATOs as we head to the fourth. Back here for the top of the fourth, it'll be Nelson Smith back up after the last inning was ended on Gabe Lopez being thrown out at second base. Smith getting ready to take his hacks for really the second time in the book, but his third time stepping up to the dish. Was in a 2-strike hole when Lopez was thrown out. And now he's back up and gets ball 1 to start the at-bat off. One-0 pitch by Sanders here. It is called a ball. 2-0 to Smith here. Two balls, no strikes. Still 1-0 lead for the NATOs on the top of the fourth. Sanders fires, and ball 3, high and tight. Missed on a breaking ball there, and in danger of putting the leadoff man on. Here's the pitch. Popped up and out of play. 3-1. He had the green light, and it does not pay off. 3-1 count. Still in favor of Smith here. Sanders got some work to do to retire him. The 3-1 offering is in there for strike 2, and the count is full. Payoff pitch here from Sanders is low for ball 4. Leadoff walk for Smith. So a free pass issued there. Third walk so far by Sanders, and it'll bring up number 28, Christian Carlton. Man on first, nobody out. Each team with 1 hit. NATO's only 2 base runners. Pitch by Sanders is in there for strike 1. A 1 pitch is in the dirt. Ezel looking back at Smith. Thought about trying to go behind the runner once more. He'll lead it instead, and it's 1-1. Carlton was retired his first time up. Sanders in the dirt once more, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Carlton. Sanders trying not to lose him here. Pitch is fouled on an excuse me swing there. Tried to check it. Instead, it'll go right down the first base line, and the count's even at 2. Two and 2 here. Nobody out. Man on first. Sanders delivers, and the breaking ball drops in there for strike 3. That's strikeout number 6 for Sanders. And 1 away as Carlton is sent packing. It'll bring up Zach Graham, who was the victim of a strikeout his first time up. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an update on Brevard men's lacrosse, NATO's trailing 12-4 in the third at Huntingdon in Montgomery, Alabama. NATO's still seeking win number 1 on the lacrosse field as that one is popped foul down the right side. NATO's have another game this Wednesday night at home against Warren Wilson. But at the moment they trail to Huntingdon in the third. And that is low for ball 1. Count even. And the pitch grounded down the left side, foul. And a ball and 2 strikes now for Zach Graham, trying to avoid going down on strikes for the second time. Sanders delivers. Low and out. Throw back to first is out of the reach of Ayler. And now off goes Smith. Smith to second, rounding around second. He is going to get into third. Ezel trying to do a little bit too much there and throws it way out of the reach of Cale Ayler. And all of a sudden with 1 out, Maryville has the game tying run on third. It'll be an E2 against Ezel. And 2 bases of advancement for Nelson Smith. And if you're Sanders, you haven't even given up a hit this frame, and you've got a guy standing on third, a walk, and then once again 2 bags being gained on the bad throw there by Ezel. 2-2 pitch here is rung up, strike 3, strikeout number 7 for Sanders, and there's out number 2. Graham goes down on strikes for the second time, and Sanders isn't out away from getting out of this still with a shutout. Casey Ross, the batter standing in between him and that. Ross 0 for 1 of the strikeout. Sanders going to try and make it 2. Here's the pitch. High for ball 1. 4th inning here, and Sanders already has racked up 7 Ks. "90 feet away from tying the game is Maryville as the breaking ball falls in for strike 1. Even count, 1 apiece, 2 outs, man on third, 1-0 NATOs, each team with a hit, each team with an error. NATO's on top by 1. Similar vibes to game 1 of the doubleheader. And here's the pitch, swung and fouled down the right side, and Sanders a strike away from getting out of this. Strikeout number 8 would be ideal for Sanders here with a 1-2 count. A man on third and 2 outs. Sanders comes set. Now fires. Breaking ball just a bit high. Counts even at 2. Sanders, 2-2. Lifted in the air. Atkinson under it. Chasing it at the wall. He makes the grab for out number 3. Sanders is through 4 scoreless, and the NATOs coming up here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to add on to the 1-run lead. And we will be right back. NATOs and Scots, game 2 here, bottom of the 4th, coming in just a second. Back here for the home half of the fourth. Blake Burchett stepping up to the box. Walked his first time around. First pitch is a strike to Burchett. Arbuthnot back out there for his fourth inning. This one chopped down the left side. It'll be a base hit, splitting the gap between third and short. A leadoff hit for Blake Burchett. It'll bring up Jason Jucker, grounded into a double play his first time up. Number 2, looking for a different result than the first time around. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. See if Burchett decides to go here. He's got speed. Here's the pitch. Hit in the air to center field, but right at Bowers. He'll make the grab. Hard hit, but right into the glove of Max Bowers, and that'll be out number 1. And it'll bring up Logan Clark. Clark with 1 out and a man on first. We'll see what he can do. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. No balls and a strike to Clark. And here's the pitch. In the dirt, Burchett is going to steal second without a throw. Burchett in scoring position now with a 1-1 count to Clark, the cleanup hitter. Clark 0 for 1. Burchett not even challenged there on that stolen base. And the pitch. Low and out, ball 2. Hitters count to Clark. Two one here. And the pitch to Clark. Taken for ball 3. 3-1 to Logan Clark. Pitch taken for ball 4, and a 1-out walk for Clark. 2 men on now for the NATOs. Second walk given up by Arbuthnot, and Frankie Vasquez come over to the plate. He's 0 for 1. 2 doubles in game 1, and he'll try to get a base knock here and maybe drive a run or 2 across. Here's the pitch. Low and out for ball 1. One 0 taken for strike 1. Ball and a strike. That one lifted in the air, left field. Vasquez, that one will be fielded right on the track. Burchett taking off for third, and he will get it. The ball kind of died at the track a little bit. Looked like could have been extra bases, maybe even out of here, but instead it will advance Burchett to third, and it'll be a fly out for Vasquez. Cale Ayler now stepping up. Ayler drove in the sole NATO's run in game 1. He'll try and drive in another one here NATO's holding a 1-0 lead. 2 outs, men on the corners. Burchett 90 feet away, and that one's going to get through the hole. Burchett will score, and it's 2-0 NATO's. Clark to second, and it's another RBI single for Cale Ayler, his second of the day. So 2-0 Tornadoes, and it'll bring up Peter Fumero.
Back to the Tornadoes, number 12, Peter Fumero.
2-0 lead for the Tornadoes. 2 outs, men on first and second. And see if Fumero can drive in an insurance run here. First pitch is a breaking ball dipping into the zone for strike 1. Pitch swung on, lifted to left field. Coming in and not making the grab is Smith. His throw to the plate. Clark's in there, and it's 3-0 Tornadoes. Clark fired up. The ball drops right in front of Smith, and it's an RBI for Peter Fumero. And same situation now, first and second with 2 outs, and it'll be
Number 11,
Christian Ezel coming up. Ezel 0 for 1, has a couple of web gems behind the dish today. See if he can drive in a run here. 3-0 NATO lead, 4 hits now. They've kind of broken it a little bit open here in the bottom of the 4th. Time called by the home plate umpire. And Ezel will step in now. Pitch coming. Ball 1 to Ezel on the outside. Here's the pitch. Driven straight back. Strike 1. One and one here. Ezel trying to keep the inning going. A 3-run frame, or 2-run frame rather, for the NATO's 3-0 lead. And here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Once more, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Ayler on second, Fumero on first. And Arbuthnot trying to limit the damage here after allowing 2 runs so far here in the 4th. Arbuthnot comes set, now fires. Ball outside. Ezel will live to see another pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 men on for the Tornadoes. 3-0 lead. 2 insurance runs so far here in the 4th. Ezel trying to plate another one here. The 2-2 offering. Swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for Ezel, and that'll end the 4th. NATO's get 2, though, and stretch the lead to 3-0. We head to the top of the 5th, and it will be Milam, Meredith, and Fritz for the Scots. We'll be right back here from Gilcone Field. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Live here from Gilcone Field. Top of the fifth, Nathan Sanders going to work. Already 7 strikeouts for the NATO ace. And he will be greeted by Peyton Milam, who he struck out in his first plate appearance. Maryville only 1 hit so far on the day. And the first pitch to Milam is hit into center field. And I got to stop talking about the base hits because every time I do, Maryville gets another one. And it's a leadoff single for Milam. Ripped into center field. First pitch here, taken for strike 1 by Jimmy Meredith, who is 0 for 1. Sanders delivers, and it's in the dirt. Ezel thinks about it, and instead will just fire back to Sanders. 1-1. Chopped on the ground. Jucker's able to knock it down. He'll eat it. Nice play just to stop that one from getting into the infield grass. But 2 singles back-to-back have Sanders in a little bit of a jam here. 2 on, no out. He will get the last 2 hitters in the lineup here. Zach Fritz now coming to the plate. He struck out his first time up. And Sanders here going to try and get out of this jam. Has 3 runs, a 3-run lead to work with as Fritz steps in for his second at-bat. First pitch is a bunt, and Sanders will pick it up. He'll go to third, and he will be safe. The runner beat the throw out. Sanders took a little bit too much time going to third, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out. Coach Victory disputing it. The umpires not doing the Tornadoes any favors here this afternoon. It was a close play. Do think Sanders hesitated maybe a half second too long. I'm not sure. But the bases will be loaded with nobody out. NATO's holding a 3-0 lead. That could change here. And now another umpire discussion coming here with Coach Victory once more pleading his case. Feels slighted by the umpires, I'm sure, so far this afternoon. Victory coming back out now. Holding something. And now getting at least some sort of explanation from the 2 umpires. So not sure. Wish that we could have a Mike Victory mic'd up. Would make things a lot easier for us. Has to figure out what kind of discourse is going on down there, and Victory starting to backpedal away. He'll turn back towards the dugout, and it seems he will accept defeat. No pitcher in America is envious of the spot that Sanders is in right now. Bases loaded and no outs. He will get the number 9 hitter here first, Max Bowers, but Bowers is 1 for 1 with a single. And the runners will stay where they're at. Bases are loaded with nobody out. So Milam, Meredith, and Fritz all on board. And it'll be Max Bowers with the bases full and nobody out. Sanders, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball. Got Bowers swinging out of his shoes there. If you're the NATOs, you definitely trade 2 for 1 here. Double play, but give up a run. Sanders comes set with the 0-1. Fires. Swing and a miss once more. 0-2. Sanders could get a big strikeout here. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Grounded. Left side out of the reach of Vasquez. 1 run will score. Clark coming up and the runner will hold. So it'll be a 1-run RBI single for Bowers. And it is 3-1 NATOs now. And we'll head back to the top of the lineup. Gabe Lopez, still nobody out for the Scots. 4 straight singles. And the lead has been cut to 2 for the Tornadoes. First pitch. Ball 1. A ball on no strikes to Lopez, who's walked twice already. There's strike 1. A ball and a strike. Nobody out. 3-1 NATOs. Each team with 4 hits apiece. Meredith on third, Fritz on second, and a swing and a miss there, strike 2. Bowers on first. And this is where it starts to get a little bit hectic. Third time around seeing a pitcher is usually when batters start to catch on a little bit more. We'll see if Sanders can finish off Lopez here, though. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted into left field. Clark is under it. He will fire for the plate. The throw is going to be cut off, and out number 1. Another run scores for Maryville, and it's 3-2 with 1 out and 2 men on. It'll bring up Nelson Smith, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. And Sanders would love a double play ball here to get him out to the top half of the 5th. 3-2 NATOs, each team with 4 hits and an error. First pitch, ball 1. Sanders was cruising up until this inning, had 7 strikeouts in 4 frames. All of a sudden, 4 straight singles before that flyout have the game at 3-2. Sanders delivers. That one lifted in the air to center field. Atkinson charging. It'll be Allison who makes the catch. Runners will stay put, and there's out number 2. Smith retired. And it'll bring up Christian Carlton. It'll be up to him to try and keep this inning going, and Sanders trying to do some more damage control here and finish off Carlton and head to the dugout with a 1-run lead. Came into the inning with a 3-run lead, but obviously you'll take any lead you can get. Men on first and second, Fritz and Bowers. Fritz taking a big lead. He'll slow up, and that one hit foul down the right side. Allison chasing it, and it'll go out of play. No balls and a strike. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball just outside for ball one. Here's the pitch. Ball two. Two balls and a strike. Sanders comes set. Runner taking off is Fritz. It's in the dirt. He'll get in there without a throw. And it's 3-1 with men on the corners now for Maryville. Carlton is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Sanders would love to retire him here and head back to the dugout. Three balls and a strike. This one hit down the right side and foul. And the count's full. Three balls, two strikes, two outs in a 3-2 game. Top of the fifth. Maryville has put up a two spot here so far to cut the lead to one. Sanders trying to get out of it right here. Comes set. The payoff pitch. Hit in the air, right center field. Allison under it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth. NATOs give up 2, but still hold a 1-run lead. 3-2 NATOs. Coming to the bat, it will be Atkinson, Allison, and Burchett. When we get back, NATOs and Scots. Jack Atkinson stepping up to the plate here. And first pitch is going to drop in there for strike one to the NATO center fielder. He's 0 for 1 of the strikeout, one of 2 strikeouts that Arbuthnot has so far to this point. And there's ball one, similar location, just a little bit high. That one lifted in the air, shallow right field, and the catch will be dropped. Meredith drops the pop-up, and Atkinson a reach on an E4. So Zach Allison coming up now, the man on first. Embarrassing drop at second there by Meredith. Routine pop-up. And the pitch taken for strike one by Zach Allison, who is 1 for 2. Had a single his first at-bat, and then the really controversial call last at-bat. Called out on interference on the hit by pitch. Called him out for leaning into the pitch or something along those lines. Whatever it was, didn't make a whole lot of sense. But Allison was set down despite getting hit with a pitch that he didn't swing at. Atkinson on first, taking his lead. 1-1 count to Allison. And the pitch taken for ball 2. Hitters count now to number 4. And the throw back to first. Atkinson is in there. A little bit too close for comfort, but nonetheless, the safe signal is waved. And Arbuthnot go back to focusing on Allison. Pitch is outside for ball 3. 3-1. Nobody out. NATO's going to try and get those runs back from the top half of the 5th. The 3-1 pitch, and time is called. The ball was delivered to the plate, but time had been called by the home plate umpire, and Allison has something in his eyes. Might be some dirt the way the wind's been blowing all over Gilcone Field this afternoon. Atkinson close to the bag at first. Arbuthnot throwing back to first, and Atkinson will get in there. Allison ready to go here. The 3-1. Check swing, and it'll be ball 4. He didn't go around. So the NATOs will have first and second with no outs, much to the dismay of the Maryville fans, which has been the case all afternoon.
Number 6, Blake Burchett.
And Blake Burchett will come over to the plate. He's 1 for 1, a walk and a single so far. And now all of a sudden, Maryville will have at least a discussion on the mound. We'll see if there will be an imminent pitching change or not. They do have a lefty up in the bullpen. Looks like things may just being talked over with Arbuthnot here. Can't quite make out who is in the bullpen. Looks like number 17, Tommy Masouras, lefty pitcher out of North Aurora, Illinois. We'll see if we'll see him either later this inning or later in the ball game. But for now, things just being discussed with Arbuthnot on the mound. Burchett awaiting with nobody out, and Atkinson on second, Allison on first. Prime opportunity here for the NATOs with a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th. So Burchett finally ready to step in now. First and second. The third baseman Ross playing in a little bit in front of the bag. Corners of the infield both in, actually. Carlton in as well at first. First pitch, Burchett will take for ball 1. A ball and no strikes. Windy day here at Gilcone Field, and time will be called once more by the home plate umpire. Maybe the third or fourth time that Arbuthnot has been deked by the home plate umpire right before he throws a pitch. A ball and no strikes. And here's the pitch Taken for ball 2, and Arbuthnot starting to lose his control here a little bit. Beginning of the inning, it was Meredith dropping the pop fly right on the shallow outfield grass that allowed Atkinson to get on, and then Allison able to walk. And now 2 balls and no strikes to Burchett. Arbuthnot looking back at Atkinson, staring him down, and he'll step off. Atkinson may be playing a little bit of mind games with him right now. And here's the pitch. On the low outside part of the plate for strike 1, and the count still in the advantage of Burchett, a hitter's count, 2-1. Two balls and a strike, and here's the pitch. Ripped right to second, and it'll be a double play. Line drive was caught by Meredith. He was able to flip it right to the bag. And just like that, it'll go from 2 men on and no outs to 1 man on and 2 outs. Really unfortunate placement of the baseball there. That's just the way it rolls sometimes, though. And Allison all alone out there on the base pass now at first with Jason Jucker coming up. And a chance for Arbuthnot to get out of this unscathed. Atkinson a little bit too far off the bag. Hard rip by Burchett, but right at Meredith. And first pitch to Jucker is a ball. Here's the pitch. Jucker, ground ball to short. It'll be tossed right to Meredith. And that will retire the side. We head to the top of the 6th. Nato's not able to plate anything despite getting the leadoff man and the second man on base. Nato's the 3-2 lead as we head to the top half of the 6th. We'll be right back from Gilcone Field, Scott's and Nato's. New pitcher in for the Tornadoes here in the top half of the 6th will be number 29, Cesar Rodriguez, spotting a 5.4 ERA, 1-1 win-loss record, 7 appearances, 16 2/3 innings. He has allowed 13 runs, only 10 of them of the earned variety, 7 walks, and 7 strikeouts. We will take a break as he gets his warm-up tosses in. Rodriguez ready to pitch the 6th, and we will be right back. Here for the top half of the 6th, Cesar Rodriguez is going to come in for relief of Nathan Sanders, who goes 5 innings of 2-run ball. 7 strikeouts for Sanders will help out his 2.81 ERA. Ups his tally from 20 strikeouts to 27 as the first pitch by Rodriguez is fouled down the left side right at the NATO's dugout. Zach Graham, the batter. And Graham 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Rodriguez going to try and make it 0 for 3 with 3 of them. Swing and a miss there on a looping breaking ball by Rodriguez. Ball and 2 strikes now to Graham. Rodriguez trying to get an early out, number 1. That one hit to the right side and caught. Stretching out and diving, Blake Burchett to retire Graham, and he's 0 for 3. And now here comes Casey Ross, who's 0 for 2. Rodriguez facing Ross. That one fouled off to the right side, out of play. No balls and a strike. This one hit back foul, strike 2. The 0-2, chopped to the right side. Burchett's got it, retreating to his left and throwing on to first to Ayler for out number 2. And now Casey Ross is 0 for 3. 2 quick outs for Cesar Rodriguez, and it'll bring up Peyton Milam, the catcher, who's 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. Ball 1 there from Rodriguez. A ball and no strikes here. Rodriguez deals. That one swung on and missed. So new pitcher for the NATOs this inning. We'll see if Maryville does the same when they come back out. For the bottom of the 6th, that breaking ball won't find the zone. It's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. The pitch by Rodriguez swung on, hit in the air, left field. Clark coming under it. He will make the grab for out number 3 on a 1-2-3 inning for Cesar Rodriguez in relief. We head to the bottom of the 6th. NATO's still hanging on to a 3-2 lead. Going to try and get some insurance and add on to that. NATO's and Scott's game 2 of an afternoon doubleheader. We'll be right back. Logan Clark to lead things off here. In the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Clark, Vasquez, and Ayler. Arbuthnot back out. for the sixth. A little bit surprising that Sanders was pulled before him. Not sure what the pitch counts were. Sure, that was a factor. First pitch to Clark is taken for ball one. Second pitch is ripped left side. Is going to get to the shortstop. The throw to first is way offline, and Clark will beat out an infield hit to start the sixth, the home half of the sixth for the Nados. And this will bring up Vasquez. He's 0 for 2. Vasquez had a really hard hit ball deep to left field, but unfortunately placed. So Clark on first, nobody out. And the first pitch outside for ball one. See what Vasquez wants to do here. Pitch is a ball. Two balls and no strikes to Frankie Vasquez. Here's a 2-0, strike one. Two one is a bunt by Vasquez. It'll chop down the first baseline and go foul. Vasquez had a chance to beat that out if it didn't get foul, but it does, and it'll be 2-2 now. Ayler retreats back to the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted, deep to left field, retreating back, and this one is going to stay in play. The throw down to third will be retrieved by Ross, and Clark had to wait up. He only got to second. Had to wait up on that one. Looked like it might get out. Second time that Vasquez has driven one very deep to left off of Arbuthnot. This time able to get on base with a base hit. And it looks like may have a pitching change coming here. And we will. Arbuthnot's day is done. And we'll see who it is coming in. Believe it may be Masouras. And it is. Tommy Masouras, sophomore left-hander, 5'11", 170 out of North Aurora, Illinois. Aurora Central Catholic High School. So after 5 innings completed, 3-run ball, 6 hits, Arbuthnot's day is done after giving up that rip to Vasquez. And as Masouras gets his warm-ups in, we will take a break, and we'll be right back here from Gil Cone Field. 2 on, nobody out for the Tornadoes, threatening here with a 3-2 lead. So Cale Ayler ready to step in with 2 on and nobody out against Tommy Masouras. Ayler 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Had an RBI single in the first game as well. So productive day at the dish for the NATO's first baseman to this point. Bottom of the 6th, nobody out, and time called. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Here's the pitch. Bunt attempt is pulled back, and Clark getting back to second. The throw from Milam was way off. He was trying to throw behind Clark, but he's able to get back. And Ayler with a ball and a strike. Trying to do some damage here for the Tornadoes. Here's the pitch. Another bunt attempt. This one will be put down. Throw on to first. It's the only play, and it is reeled in. Nice play there to pull that one in by Jimmy Meredith, and that's out number 1. Peter Famero coming to the dish now. He has an RBI single.
Number 12, Peter Romero.
1 for 2, and 2 men in scoring position with 1 out for Famero, who's going to try and capitalize here. Ezel on deck. And the pitch is a ball. Clark faked as if he was going to run towards home as Masouras went through his motion, but he held up. Vasquez on second, Clark on third. Famero at the dish, 1 out, and the pitch is in there for strike 1, even count. Stepping off is Masouras with a 1-1 count. And now Famero will settle back into the dish. Masouras the lefty. 5'11", 170. And here's the pitch. Swung on, lifted in the air to left field, and this one will be brought down, but it'll be enough to score a run. Clark will get in easily, and it's a 2-run lead, 4-2 now. Vasquez will stay put at second. Nice grab there by Casey Ross.
Number 11, Christian Ezel.
That's what I thought. Now into the box, Christian Ezel, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Going to try and change his fortunes here, driving another run. Vasquez in scoring position, and ball 1 taken by Ezel there. One and 0. 4-2 NATO lead here in the bottom of the 6th. And swing and a miss there by Ezel. Ball had some bite to it coming inside to him. And it's a 1-1 count. Now, Milam going to come in conference with Masouras here for a second. Try and get on the same page as his pitcher. Ball and a strike. Masuris looking in, now coming set. Here's the pitch. Right down Broadway for strike 2 on the breaking ball. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Masuris trying to limit the damage. Ezel trying to continue the inning. Here's the pitch. Ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with a man on second. Masuris looking in at Milam. Nods his head, and now time is called. Ezel digging back in. Two. With 2 outs. Frankie Vasquez standing on second. Here's the pitch. It is hit to the left side. It's retrieved and bobbled by Lopez. There will be no play. Ezel will reach, and there are men on the corners with 2 outs for Jack Atkinson. So Atkinson with a chance to add on to the inning. That's the NATO's 7th base hit, by the way, by Ezel. And if Vasquez does come around to score, the run will be charged to Arbuthnot. As strike 1 is taken by Atkinson. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Atkinson hacks at it and fouls it off. So no balls and 2 strikes. Atkinson in a hole now. Trying to keep the inning going. He's going to have to fight. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Atkinson. Masuris fans him, and that will send us to the home stretch. Top of the 7th coming here. NATO's get an insurance run and now lead it 4-2 as we head to the top of the 7th. NATO's and Scott's will be right back. Back here for the final 3-inning stretch here. Top of the 7th. It'll be Cesar Rodriguez back out there for the NATO's for his 2nd inning of relief work. And he'll start things off by going up against Jimmy Meredith, who's 1 for 2 with a single in his last at-bat. is in there for strike one. And the pitch by Rodriguez taken for ball one by Meredith. Meredith, the second baseman for the Scots. And that one inside for ball two. Hitters count for Meredith. Rodriguez comes set, fires, and that one's going to be lifted up in the air. Burchett is under it in the infield, and he's got it. Out number one. This will be Fritz coming up to the plate now. He's 1 for 2. Rodriguez deals and a swing and a wave there by Zach Fritz, way out in front of that one. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed again. Another big hack that couldn't connect there, and Rodriguez going to try and punch him out for out number 2 here. Rodriguez has the bottom 3 in the order here in this frame, at least. And the pitch swung on and missed for the 3rd straight time. A strikeout for Rodriguez, and there's out number 2. Second strikeout for Zach Fritz. And now Max Bowers coming out to the plate. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles, one of them of the RBI variety. And with 2 outs and nobody on, he'll try to start a rally here. He will lift it high in the air to left field, and this one is going to get out of here. A home run for Max Bowers, the 9-hole hitter. He's 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a home run. And just like that, the lead's cut back down to 1 once more. Long ball to left field by Bowers. Clark didn't even really try to chase after that one. And a really good game here in game 2 for Bowers, and this will bring back up Lopez, the leadoff man. Bowers was also 2 for 4 in the first game, so he's 5 for 7 in these 2 games against the NATOs, and Rodriguez is going to try and shake that one off and send us to the home half of the 7th here. First pitch is a check swing that didn't go around. It'll be ball 1. Ball 2. Two balls and no strikes. The pitch by Rodriguez is in there for strike 1. Two one. Outside for ball 3. Rodriguez got to be careful here not to just float one in. Three balls and a strike, and the pitch lifted high in the air, foul ground. Ayler trying to chase after it, and he will make the catch right in front of the Maryville bullpen. That'll be out number 3, and it'll send us to the bottom half of the 7th. NATOs give up a run via the long ball, but still hold a 1-run lead, 4-3. Masur is coming back out for his second inning of work, and we'll be right back. NATOs with a 1-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom half of the 7th here. Tommy Masouras on for his 2nd inning of relief work, trying to match Cesar Rodriguez, who's provided 2 innings of 1-run ball. And he will face Zach Allison to start off the 7th, who will take strike 1. And that'll be ball 1 out of the mitt of Milam. Ball and a strike. Wind up here by Masouras. This one's lifted in the air, left center field. Coming under it and not able to make the catch is Bowers. Allison headed to second, and he will get in there sliding. A leadoff double for Zach Allison, his 2nd base hit of the contest. 3rd time reaching. He also has a walk. And we'll bring up Blake Burchett. 1 for 2. A walk, a single, and a very unfortunately placed line drive to the 2nd baseman that resulted in a double play. His stat sheet reads 1 for 2. A chance to drive in a run here with nobody out. Allison on 2nd. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. 4-3 game here. 8 hits for the Natos, 5 for the Scots. 2 errors by Maryville, 1 by Brevard, and that one is inside for ball 2. So 2-0 count here to Blake Burchett. Here's the pitch. Chopped, 3rd base side, and foul. So 2 balls and a strike. Another hitter's count here. This time for Blake Burchett. 2-1. And time called once more by the home plate umpire. Masouras delivers, and a strike called. 2-2. Must have crossed the plate before going inside, but where it finished was very close to Burchett. And it's an even count at 2 apiece. Masouras will turn back and look at Allison. Nobody there, though, so he'll eat it. Masouras looks in. Still looking. Shaking off his catcher, now nodding, and time called again by the home plate official. The dirt getting blown everywhere by this wind. And now more delays. Milam going to go out to the mound to Masouras. Conference still being held on the mound, and the home plate umpire walking out there to tell them to speed it up. They'll do just that. Milam heading back behind the dish now. Burchett awaiting a 2-2 delivery here from Masouras. Here comes the pitch. Lifted in the air to right. Fritz under it, and he will make the grab. Allison will stay put at second. Now he's going to take off. The ball slipped out of the hand of Fritz, and Allison is into third without a throw, standing up. So productive out there. Allison wasn't going to take off, and Fritz went to throw it, and it just slipped out of his hand. Didn't even reach the infield dirt, and Allison took off, got in there easily. And now with one out, Allison 90 feet away from scoring. Jason Jucker up. First pitch. Jucker will take strike one. First pitch. Outside for a ball. One. Jucker sends it straight back, and it's 1-2. Pitch. Swung on and hit. It'll drop for a base hit in a right field. Allison will come around to score, and it's an RBI single for Jucker, stretching the lead back to 2 at 5-3. Jucker with his first hit of the contest. It's a timely one. An RBI single to drive in Allison, and now here comes Logan Clark with one away, and Jucker standing on first. Clark 1 for 2, a base hit and a walk in his last 2 at-bats. First pitch in the dirt, and Jucker will stay put. Didn't get far enough away from Milam to interest Jason and headed towards second. Wind continues to blow out on Gale Cone Field here. Very pretty afternoon here in Brevard, North Carolina. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Scots and the NATOs. Scots took game 1. NATOs in control here, though, as Logan Clark takes ball 2. At this point in the game, in game 1, it was a 1-1 ball game before Maryville broke through for 4 ninth-inning runs. At this point, it's 5-3 Tornadoes in the bottom of the 7th. This one in the dirt for ball 3. It's 3-0. And we'll see if Logan Clark has the green light here against Masuris, the reliever who's so far completed an inning and a third. Vasquez on deck. He's hit the ball hard all day, and that is a 4-pitch walk. Logan Clark will head to first. It's first and second with 1 out for Frankie Vasquez. Second walk drawn today by Logan Clark. And now time being called. Maryville's head coach. We'll see if he wants the ball or just wants to talk. They've got a righty warming up in the bullpen. And we'll see. Doesn't look like he wants the ball yet. Just wants to talk things over with Masuris as he faces a very dangerous freshman hitter, Frankie Vasquez, with just 1 out and 2 men on. Masuris, the sophomore, is running into a little bit of trouble here so far on the frame. A double, a single, and a walk in 3 of the first 4 batters he's faced this inning. And they could just be trying to buy some time here for whoever is up in the bullpen. That is exactly what they are doing, it appears that we may have a change. That will be exactly what happens here, as number 21, Grady Cash, coming in, 6'1", 220 out of Jonesboro, Tennessee. And that will be the end of the day, end of the line for Tommy Masouras, who comes out after an inning in the third of one-run ball, still on the hook for the two guys on base. And we'll take a break as Cash warms up. We'll be right back. Grady Cash just about ready to go here. The junior, 6'1", 220 out of Jonesboro, Tennessee, David Crockett High School. After an inning and a third of work from Tommy Masouras, including a strikeout, also gave up a run. And once again, if Clark or Jucker come around to score, it will be charged to Masouras, and there's strike one to Vasquez, who will be the first hitter to face off against Cash. We'll see if the NATOs have a pitching change next inning. Unlikely that Rodriguez comes out for a third inning. And here's the pitch. Swung on and waved at by Vasquez behind that one. Had some gas there. And no balls, 2 strikes to Vasquez, who's had a really good day. And that one chopped to second. They won't be able to turn it. The only play will be at first, and 2 outs now with 2 men in scoring position. Vasquez 1 for 4. And it'll bring up Cale Ayler, who's 1 for 3. As an RBI single in this game, certainly wouldn't mind another if you're him or the NATOs. Ayler, the left-handed hitting first baseman, has RBIs in both games today. 5-3 NATO lead. And the first pitch by Cash is lifted down the left field line. Foul ground. Nobody will get there. It'll be strike one. No balls and a strike to Ayler. Ball's high and tight for ball 1. One and one. Pitch outside. 2-1. Pitch high and out, ball 3, 3-1. And Cash in danger of loading the bases here. with Jucker on third and Clark on second. 3-1 to Cale Ayler. Famero waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit foul down the left side. Full count. The pitch is low. Ball 4, and Cash will walk the bases full for Famero. Peter Famero, 1 for 2, has an RBI single and a sacrifice fly. So 2 RBIs on the day for him. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and Famero at the plate. He will take ball 1. Here's the pitch. Swung and hit straight back by Famero. One ball, 1 strike. The pitch, strike 2 on the outer edge. Famero got to protect now. Both teams searching for win number 12 here in game number 2 of this doubleheader. Maryville got number 11 earlier today. Brevard came into the day with 11. Maryville has played 3 less games. And here's the pitch. Swung and hit down the third base line. Jam shot, throw on to first, and it will retire Famero. He will ground out to end the 7th. And the NATOs are able to knock another run across there. Lead at 5-3 as we head to the top of the 8th. And it will be Rodriguez for his 3rd inning of relief coming back out. NATOs lead at 5-3. And we'll be back in just a moment. Back here for the top of the 8th. NATOs and Scots. Brevard holding a 5-3 lead as we head to the last 2 frames. And Rodriguez back out there for his 3rd inning of relief work. Has a strikeout and has given up an earned run in 2 innings. He'll try to keep it at 1 with 3. And the first pitch is launched foul down the left side. Just allowed strike 1. Nelson Smith at the dish, 0 for 2. Drew a walk in his 2nd at-bat. And here's the pitch. Swung and foul to the right side this time. No balls and 2 strikes here. Smith in danger of being sent down to 0-3. And this one hit down the right side again, foul, so we'll do it again. Rodriguez comes set, delivers, and that one, an excuse me swing out in the center field, and Atkinson's not going to get it. It'll drop in front of him, and Smith will slow up, and he'll only take 1. So bloop hit in the center field will lead the inning off for Smith and for the Scots. And here comes Christian Carlton, is 0-for-3 with a strikeout. Rodriguez going to try and shake off the bloop there. First pitch is going to bounce, get by Ezel, and Smith will get to second, so a runner in scoring position. And a ball and no strikes to Christian Carlton, the first baseman for Maryville. A ball and no strikes here. Rodriguez delivers, and that one is hit in the air, center field, right to Atkinson. Smith thought about tagging instead. Will get back to second and beat the throw by Atkinson. So 1 out here. Carlton is retired. He's now 0-for-4 on the day. And Zach Graham coming up, who's also 0-for-3. 2 strikeouts for him. If you're Rodriguez, you might as well make it 3. Casey Ross on deck. Another Maryville hitter with a goose egg. Runner takes off, and he will get in there without a throw. Smith with a stolen base. And a ball to Graham, and it's a ball, no strikes. Rodriguez trying to avoid giving up his second earned run. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 1. A ball and a strike, 1 out. The pitch swung on and fouled. Strike 2. And Graham going to try and give him his 3rd strikeout. Coach Mike Victory heading out now, and we'll see what the deal is. Really unsure, mid at bat. Rodriguez talking to Victory. Not sure what this is about. And Victory, short talk there, and retreats back to the dugout. And the pitch by Rodriguez, 1-2, swung on and missed. Ezel picks it up, throws on to first, and Ayler's got it. Golden sombrero now for Zach Graham. 3 strikeouts on the ball game for him. And Rodriguez will pick up his 2nd K on the bump, and he's an out away from getting out of this unharmed. 9 combined strikeouts for the Brevard pitching staff so far. And it'll be Casey Ross who hits this one in the air, right side. Ayler chasing after it. He'll run out of real estate quickly. And there's strike 1. No balls and a strike to Casey Ross. Nelson Smith standing on third, 90 feet away. Maryville trying to cut into the deficit. Rodriguez delivers. That one's chopped foul right towards the NATO dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez a strike away from getting out of it. The pitch lifted in the air to right field. Ayler coming under it, and he will make the over-the-shoulder grab for out number 3 to send us to the bottom of the 8th. The NATOs get out of it unscathed, leading 5-3 as we head to the home half of the 8th. 2-run lead, and we'll be right back. Back here at Gilcone Field, home half of the 8th. It'll be Christian Ezel leading things off for the NATOs. He's 1 for 3. He'll be followed up by Jack Atkinson, who's still searching for his first hit of the afternoon, well, in game 2. And Zach Allison will round things out. He's 2 for 3. First pitch by Cash, who's back out there, will be a strike. Cash delivers. Strike 2. Ezel quickly in an 0-2 hole here. Cash, the 0-2 delivery is chopped right back to Cash. He'll toss on to first, and there's out number 1. Ezel 1 for 4 now on the afternoon, and it'll bring up Jack Atkinson. It was 0 for 3, a strikeout, an E4, and another strikeout. So Jack looking to turn things around here and start something here in the bottom of the 8th. Could be the NATO's last at-bat here. Bunt attempt is pulled back and taken for ball 1. A ball and no strikes here. Pitch taken high for ball 2 by Atkinson. And strike 1 fit in there rather by Cash to Atkinson. Two 2-1 pitch. Atkinson pops it back foul and the count's even. And the pitch taken outside. Ball 3, the count is full. Full count. The payoff pitch here Taken high for ball 4, and Atkinson's aboard. It'll bring up Allison, who's 2 for 3. A single, a double, and a walk on the ledger for him in game 2 here this afternoon. And the pitch by Cash, taken outside for ball 1. The 1-0 here, taken low and out for ball 2. Cash running into some control problems here after setting down Ezel. Weak throw back to first. Atkinson is back in there standing. (2-0), taken high for ball 3, and it's a 3-0 count. Hard to imagine that Allison's got the green light here unless an absolute meatball is thrown over the middle. 3-0. And that one will squeeze in there for strike 1, 3-1. 3-1 delivery. Low, ball 4. Atkinson slides into second, not knowing that it had been a walk. He was going to be in there regardless, but there's first and second with 1 out now for Blake Burchett as Allison draws his second walk of the game. So Allison in 5 trips to the plate, 2 walks, and 2 base hits. Not a bad day at the office for number 4. Pitch by Cash, taken for strike 1 by Burchett, who is 1 for 3. A walk and a single. No balls and a strike. The pitch. Burchett is going to get by to the backstop. Both runners will advance, and the NATOs now have 2 in scoring position and a chance to add on to their lead with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Ball and a strike. 1 out. Pitch to Burchett. Taken outside for ball 2. Hitters count for Blake. Two one here, and the pitch taken for strike 2. Counts even with 1 away. Burchett gonna try and avoid the K. Was called out looking on one in game 1. Here's the pitch. Almost suffers the same fate there. Instead, it'll be ruled a ball, and the count's full once more. Here's the pitch. Cash hit to short. Picked up, throw on to first is going to retire Burchett. Allison and Atkinson both will stay put, and now with 2 down, the NATO is going to try to avoid stranding 2 runners in scoring position as Jason Jucker will come up. Burchett 1 for 4 now in the ball game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit. Lasered foul down the right side. Nobody appears to be up in the NATO pen. Might let Rodriguez go for his 4th inning of relief. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit to the right side, Fritz right under it, and that will retire the side. We head to the top of the 9th. NATOs with a chance to close it out and split the doubleheader here on a Saturday evening. 5-3 Tornado lead as we head to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back. New pitcher for the NATOs for the second time today will be Bryce Bowers in to try and close things out in the top of the ninth. Bowers in the closer role coming into the day with a 6.15 ERA and 7 appearances. 26 and a third innings pitched. Has allowed 21 runs, 18 earned, 8 walks, and 13 strikeouts. Bowers will finish his warm-up tosses. We'll take a break as he gets ready to face Milam, Meredith, and Fritz to try and close things out. Bowers now on for the save. And his first delivery will be outside for ball 1 to Milam, who's 1 for 3, has a single. This one lifted up in the air. Right field. Allison under it at the line. He's got it for out number 1. So 1 down here. And it'll be Jimmy Meredith, who is 1 for 3 with a single, almost an identical line to Milam prior to that last at-bat. First pitch by Bowers, taken for a strike. Pitch by Bowers, breaking ball, is going to find the inner half for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Bowers comes set and fires, flailing at it, and this one will go out of play. Little excuse me swing there by Meredith, but it goes foul and he'll get another chance. Beautiful evening here in Brevard, North Carolina. A bit windy. NATO's trying to finish off a split of the doubleheader, leading 5-3, 1 down here in the 9th. Bowers, the 0-2. Hit to the right side. Burchett knocks it down, bobbles, throws on to first, and it is in time for out number 2. Meredith frustrated. And there's out number 2. Zach Fritz, the only thing standing, or no, it won't be Fritz. It'll be pinch hitter Kendall Catlett, who we saw start at catcher in game 1. First pitch, taken low for ball 1. Catlett, 2 for 3. With a walk and a couple of base hits in game 1. Coming off the bench here to try and keep the game alive for the Scots. Bowers trying to shut the door. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 1. One pitch from Bowers here. Oh, good pitch taken there for a ball. And a 2-1 hitter's count for Catlett. He got lucky. Bowers delivers. Strike 2. And the NATO's a strike away from a 5-3 victory here on Gil Cone Field in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Bowers looks in at his catcher, takes a breath, steps back, fires, low and away. Ball 3, and the count is full now. Bowers trying to get him 1-2-3 here. Catlett not going away easy. Bowers nods, and then time is called by the home plate umpire. Make him think about it a little bit more. Make Bowers and Catlett both think about it a little bit more. Who will come out on top? Payoff pitch here for the win. Bowers rings him up, strike 3, and the NATOs get the victory in Game 2 of the doubleheader. 5-3, 2-run performance in 5 innings by Nathan Sanders. Cesar Rodriguez only 1 earned run in 3 innings of relief, and Bryce Bowers getting the save with a 1-2-3 inning in the 9th. The NATOs winning it 5-3. Zach Allison 2 for 3 with 2 walks, 2 base hits. Jason Jucker with an RBI single. Cale Ayler with an RBI single. Peter Famero with an RBI single and a sac fly. And the NATOs able to walk away with a 5-3 win and split the doubleheader. Game 3 tomorrow. Brevard moving to 12-7. Maryville falling to 11-5. NATOs, after squandering the first one, able to get the second one here on top 5-3. We will see you tomorrow for Game 3, the rubber match between these two teams. Brevard will look in game number 20 to reach win number 13. Again, Bryce Bowers with the save there with the strikeout to finish the ball game. Strikeout looking of Kendall Catlett. For Maryville, Chris Arbuthnot went 5 innings of 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 strikeouts. Tommy Masouris, an inning and a third, a strikeout and 1 earned run. And Grady Cash, an inning and 2/3 of no-run ball. Once again, Nathan Sanders, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. Cesar Rodriguez, 3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, courtesy of a home run by Max Bowers. 2 strikeouts, and then Bryce Bowers able to come in and shut the door on Maryville. Brevard advancing to 12-7. Maryville falling to 11-5. NATOs with a 5-3 win here in Game 2. We will see you tomorrow for Game 3 of this series between the Scots and the NATOs, the rubber match here on Gil Cone Field tomorrow afternoon. Until then, signing off, I'm Brady Penn.